It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty, real estate is our world.
Now we're standing here face to face, afraid to move or...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very exciting segment. We're going to be talking about everything real estate. And with that, let's welcome to the show, Usha.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Mesh, and Australian Indian Radio.
And it is always a pleasure to have you on the show, and there's so much to be, talked about. There's so much happening out there in real estate. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the market indicators and the summary for this week.
Yes, let's have a quick look at the market indicator summary. Combined capital city preliminary clearance rate down slightly week on week across lower volumes. There were 2,090 homes taken to auction across the combined capital cities last week, down from 2,979 over the previous week and 2,218 over the same week last year. Of the 1,713 results collected so far, 72.2% were successful, down slightly from the previous week's preliminary clearance rate of 72.7%, which revised down to 69.2% at the final figures. Prior to the last week, the final clearance rate had held above 70%. Of 70% for 5 consecutive weeks. It's possible that this last week's final figures will slip down below 70% once remaining results are collected. So that shows the market indicator and the summary of it, the week ending of 13th March 2022.
Okay, so, those are quite good numbers, but it is... as per the indication, slightly down from the previous week. So, there's a slight downturn in the numbers there. Well, of course, we know that every week we gauge the market indicators based on our auctions and auction clearance rate. So what's happening in the field of auction?
Yes. Looking at the auction results throughout the combined capital cities, it's gone down in most of the places. Sydney is 70.4% clearance rate. Total number of properties were 1,028 properties were taken to auction and 605 were cleared results. Melbourne was 71.9%. Melbourne has gone a little bit up compared to the previous week. 606 properties were taken to auction and 371 sold under the hammer. Brisbane is down as well, 68.1%. 189 properties were taken to auction and 98 only sold under the hammer. Adelaide is pretty steady results there, 77.9%, and 160 properties were taken to auction and 88 sold under the hammer. Looking at Perth and Tasmania, that's not applicable. There were not too many auctions there. Canberra is 87.5%, holding fairly well there. 88 properties were taken to auction and 63 sold under the hammer. So looking at the combined capital cities of Australia, 72.2% were the cleared results, and 2,090 properties were taken to auction across the major capital cities, and 1,233 sold under the hammer. So looking at the results, it's gone down in most of the cities except Canberra and Melbourne has gone a little bit up. Adelaide has gone down as well. Brisbane has gone down. Sydney has gone down. So not many people are buying at auctions, it looks like. Looking at the results of Brisbane, it was about 78% and now down to 68.1%.
As they say, that the results do speak for themselves, and we can see what's happening out there in the market. Well, of course, looking at the market and looking at the auctions, so what has that done with the home values? So where are we sitting with the home values?
Let's have a quick look at the capital city home value changes within the last 12 months. Let's have a quick look at Sydney first. 20.3% is going a little bit up. Melbourne is quite down in value changes, 11.7%. Looking at Brisbane is quite steady, 29.7%. Last week was 30%. It's gone down a little bit there, 0.3%. Adelaide is 26%. It's gone up by 1% in Adelaide. Perth is 8%, and the combined capital cities is 17.9%. So the market has, value changes has gone down a bit in every city actually. Looking at the graph there.
Okay, so looking at that graph there, we know that the values have changed a little bit. So of course that would also be dependent upon the number of properties on the market. So it is always the supply and demand, as you always mention in your show, that so based upon the demand and supply. So looking at the supply, what are the listing numbers for this week?
That's why a lot of auctions are not selling, because the supply is there, but I think the prices is quite high. People's expectations is really high at the moment. The sellers are expecting higher dollars, and the market is not paying that high dollars at the moment.
Okay, so today we'll also be looking at maybe the two reports. So the first report that we're going to look at, and then we'll talk about that, is the lending criteria. But today we are talking about lending criteria, especially in the outback. So we know that what happens out here is what are the valuers looking at in the bank, and many times they do consult you as well. Let's take a quick look at this report, then we'll discuss that.
When Mary McNair moved from Brisbane to the tiny town of Quilpie, she fell in love with a sense of community. The 27-year-old entrepreneur started a local coffee stand. But when she wanted to buy her first home, she hit a roadblock.
When it came down to it, they said, either they didn't loan against property out here, or they required such a hefty deposit that you may as well be paying for the whole thing yourself.
It took her several months and multiple mortgage brokers before she was able to secure a loan with a 30% deposit. Residents across Western Queensland say the banks are either flatly denying loans based on their remote location or requiring deposits of up to 50%.
Infrastructure developments, job prospects, climate risks, insurance premiums, all of those things can make it much harder for a bank to see a lot of potential value in a property in the future.
Rob Warner is a local mechanic in nearby Thargomindah. He also struggled to secure finance when he was trying to buy the town's roadhouse.
When we approached the Big Four and the brokers, as soon as we put the postcode in, they pretty much said everything changes, no.
The seller ended up guaranteeing Mr. Warner's loan to get it approved.
There you go, the vendor finance, as they call. So the vendor came in and guaranteed his thing so that he could get the loan. So should be these loans that and the valuers look at properties and their location, should that matter a lot?
I believe it shouldn't matter a lot, because if people have got over 20% deposit, there shouldn't be an issue about borrowing the money. But we are finding in our own area as well, the banks, the valuers are getting tougher. The valuations are not meeting whatever the buyers are expecting. So the valuation is really high up there. People need at least 20% deposit. Most of the people are paying 20% deposit to get the loan through. So it's the market is tough there in the lending section. So looking at the banks, I had a couple of clients where they were declined from the major four banks, and they have gone to smaller banks and applying for low doc loans as well, which they are paying a little bit higher interest, but they want to get into the market and buy a property, though they are paying a little bit higher interest with low doc finance. So it's tough there for small, young families buying properties with 5 or 10% deposits. So not many people are looking at 5%. Minimum is 10%. So I really request people to get, if they get 20% deposit, which is better, then you don't have to go to mortgage insurance and all those sort of things. You'll save it between $11,000 to $20,000 on mortgage insurance with the property prices in our area at the moment.
And that's quite a good observation there, and quite a good result, because many times banks are looking at their interest. They're looking at if they have to sell their property, if someone defaults on that mortgage, how easy would it be for them to recover their money. So they're always protecting themselves. And of course, with the mortgage insurance, we know the mortgage insurance does not protect the purchaser, it protects the bank. Should the purchaser default, the bank is guaranteed that they will get their money. So that's the way it is. Well, the next report we're going to look at is a slightly different one, where overall housing crisis, especially, of course, in the rental market as well.
This is one of Greater Brisbane's worst affected suburbs. The people who live here had to wait more than a week after the floodwaters peaked for the clean-up to begin. And Douglas Gooding is working hard to make his home livable again. How are you going, Douglas?
Mentally, yeah. I've broken down a couple of times over it all. Just little things that's just tripped it off.
But the Goodna resident still has ambitious plans.
We're leaving that. We can still use that. That's all in operation.
But realistically, when do you think you can move back in here?
I'm hoping 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Douglas Gooding and his neighbours have been through this before, when floodwaters destroyed the suburb in 2011. And when 730 visited these streets 6 months later, residents told us the recovery had barely started.
Most of us are sort of back, but we're not in houses and stuff. I mean, people over there, they're living under their house.
11 years later, that same Goodna resident, Damien Main, is preparing to say goodbye to his home. His insurance company insists the house be demolished.
And they said they won't rebuild because it's a floodplain. They're not going to even say than that.
How realistic is it to rebuild some of those houses?
Look,
So we've seen that some of the houses cannot be rebuilt, and further in that report they talk about people then trying to look for rental properties and just having a lot of problem trying to find rental properties. So what's happening in that scene?
Yes, in our area, Deagon was really hard hit there. A lot of people were rescued in boats. People had 4 or 5 feet of water. I went and I sold a couple of properties in Deagon about 1st of January. It settled. This first week of January it settled. And another one I sold which settled in November. They both had plenty of water in their property. All downstairs was flooded. The second house was allow set. All their new carpets, everything has been wrecked. Another lady was going to list a property with me in Tigam. She spent about $87,000 on renovation with totally refurbished with brand new kitchen, everything. Her house had 2 feet of water, so now she has to start again and refurbish. That's the street where the water was never there in 74 floods or 2011 floods, but this time the water came in their houses. So devastating results in our area as well. Parts of Tigam, parts of Boondall, Deagon, majority of Deagon had a lot of water problems, so because it's got the Cabbage Tree Creek there, and so a lot of devastation. And now people are looking, because they will be taking, the insurance companies are saying that it will take between say 6 months to 12 months to refurbish their house or get it in order, and people are just fighting for rental properties. They can't find any rental properties, especially people with pets and things like that. There's devastation. They have got nowhere to live. A few people have got caravans. They have rented caravans so they can stay in their yard, in their caravans, while their houses are refurbished. So devastating to see so many people suffering with no food, no water, no nothing actually.
And that is terrible news, and hopefully that things might improve slowly. As we know, in Lismore, they had to bring in a whole lot of motorhomes to put people in, and it was good that they could get those many motorhomes to accommodate them. Well, right now, moving on, your agency news. So what's happening with the agency and your agency report with listings, etc.?
Yes, looking at Boondall on the north side of Brisbane, our agency is doing quite well. Listings, as we say, it's always tough to get the right listings. We're getting a few listings, but the owner's expectation is quite high in the price manner. So we have listed a couple of new properties. Let's have a quick look at our new website. We have just launched our new website yesterday. So let's have a quick view of that. We have got new website which is done, showing few streets of Boondall, the properties we have sold and listed, and our team photos as well. So hopefully you can give us some feedback if you see our website, how we can improve that. We are open to suggestions from our clients or from whoever is looking at our website. So let's have a quick view of it. So that's north side of Brisbane. That's the photo of Boondall and some of the properties. Let's have a quick look at the property number 2. We have just listed that brand new property, and which I sold in 2001, and now it's going on the market. It's just come on the market yesterday. The owners it's a very nice property, 4 bedrooms plus a study. It's got 2 large living areas. It's has got solar panels, 6 kilowatt solar panels, huge entertainment area, nice kitchen, very nice kitchen with breakfast bar, room for double fridge space, dining, air conditioned family room, dining and family room. And looking at let's have a quick look at the outdoor area as well. It's amazing, large 4 bedrooms. Main bedroom has got ensuite as well. And and the 4 bedrooms, 4 other bedrooms are quite spacious with nice ceiling fans. Looking at these, owners have purchased somewhere else and they are looking to sell this one as soon as possible. Study is quite large. It's a home office for them at the moment. And that's the entertainment area. It's amazing. It's got water fountain. It's got fully insulated, beautifully covered. It's got a nice private entertainment area. It's got a good size yard for the kids to play. A shed with solar panel as well, separate solar panel in the shed. It's got water tank. So it's a very, very spacious home, now right in the state of College Green, walking distance to all amenities, to Nudgee College, to train stations, about 10 minutes walk to the station, the shops, the primary schools. Is close to all amenities from this property. So open house is on Saturday at 11 o'clock, 11 to 11:30, and it should rent somewhere between 700 to 710 per week if investors are looking for the property. There's nothing to be done. It's always nicely refurbished, beautifully kept property in the Boondall area.
Well, that is quite impressive. So once again, Usha, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing that. And that's quite an impressive website as well. Well done. And that property there is just amazing. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Mission Australian Indian Radio.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetrealtor.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.